Have you ever wondered what your cat is really thinking? One veterinarian used cutting-edge AI to unlock the secrets of his patient's mind, leading to a shocking discovery that could change everything. Dr. Emily Carter thought she had seen everything in 15 years of veterinary practice. She was wrong. It began on a Tuesday. Jake Velmer, 16 years old with worried eyes, carried a pet carrier into Dr. Carter's clinic like he was transporting a bomb. His mother Sarah followed behind, her face etched with the kind of exhaustion that comes from 3 sleepless nights. "Doctor, I know this sounds insane," Jake said, setting the carrier on the metal table with shaking hands. "But I think our cat is trying to tell us something." Dr. Carter had heard similar claims before. Concerned pet owners often attributed human-like intelligence to their animals. Usually, it was wishful thinking. Usually. "Tell me about the behavior," Dr. Carter said, opening the carrier door. Out stepped Maple. Beautiful orange fur with distinctive black stripes. Green eyes that seemed almost too intelligent. She looked healthy, alert, normal. Then she started meowing. Dr. Carter froze. These weren't random cat sounds. The meows followed a precise pattern. 3 short bursts. 2 longer ones. A pause. Then the exact same sequence. Over and over. "How long has she been doing this?" Dr. Carter asked, watching Maple pace in perfect circles around the examination table. 3 days, Sarah replied. "She paces by our basement door all day. The meowing starts at night. She won't stop, doctor. We haven't slept in 72 hours. Dr. Carter examined Maple thoroughly. Temperature normal. Heart rate slightly elevated. No signs of physical illness or distress. The cat appeared perfectly healthy. Except for the behavior. There's something else, Jake added quietly. The way she looks at us when she meows. It's like she's frustrated that we don't understand." Dr. Carter had witnessed countless cases of animals detecting things humans missed. Dogs alerting to seizures before they happened. Cats refusing to enter rooms with gas leaks. Birds acting agitated before earthquakes. But this felt different. This felt deliberate. "I want to try something unconventional," Dr. Carter said, reaching for her laptop. "A local tech startup has developed AI software that analyzes animal vocalizations. It's experimental, but..." "You think you can translate what she's saying?" Sarah asked incredulously. "Let's find out." Dr. Carter had been following the development of this technology for months. The AI system could process complex vocal patterns, behavioral cues, and emotional states in real time. Most of her colleagues dismissed it as science fiction. Dr. Carter wasn't most veterinarians. She connected a sensitive recording device to her computer. The AI software loaded, displaying complex waveform analysis tools and behavioral pattern recognition algorithms. Maple continued her precise pacing. The meowing maintained its exact rhythm. Dr. Carter recorded 5 minutes of audio and uploaded the data. The analysis began. Jake leaned over Dr. Carter's shoulder as streams of data flowed across the screen. Frequency mapping. Pattern recognition. Contextual behavior correlation. "This is impossible," Jake whispered, watching the AI process his cat's vocalizations. After 3 minutes, the software completed its analysis. Dr. Carter stared at the screen in shock. A simple text translation appeared, "Danger below. Sparks in the dark." The room went silent. Sarah laughed nervously. "That can't be real." Dr. Carter ran the analysis again. Same result. Maple had stopped pacing. She sat perfectly still, staring directly at the three humans as if waiting for them to finally understand what she had been desperately trying to communicate. "The basement," Jake said suddenly. "She only paces by the basement door." "There's nothing dangerous down there," Sarah protested. "Just storage boxes and our water heater." But Dr. Carter wasn't convinced. She had witnessed too many cases where animals detected problems humans completely missed. Their senses were far superior. Their instincts more finely tuned. "We need to check," Dr. Carter said firmly. "Now?" Sarah asked. "Right now." 30 minutes later, they stood in the Velmer's basement with flashlights. Maple had insisted on coming. She led them directly to the far wall, the same area where she had been pacing upstairs. The cat began pawing at a specific section of concrete block wall, meowing in the same urgent pattern. "I don't see anything unusual," Sarah said, sweeping her flashlight across the surface. Jake knelt beside Maple. "She wants us to look behind the wall." They moved storage boxes away from the area. Dr. Carter noticed something that made her stomach drop. Tiny black streaks along the baseboard. Scorch marks. "We're calling an electrician," Dr. Carter said immediately. "It's probably nothing," Sarah tried to rationalize. "It's not nothing." 2 hours later, electrician Mike Lawson emerged from behind the basement wall holding several feet of severely damaged electrical wire. His expression was grim. "Ma'am, you need to understand something," he told Sarah. "This wire has been sparking for months. The insulation is completely burned away. Live current has been arcing against your metal framework." Sarah sank into a chair. "Another week, maybe less, and this would have started a major fire," Lawson continued. "With your old wood frame construction, the house would have gone up in minutes. You might not have gotten out alive." Jake stared at Maple in amazement. The cat had saved their lives. But Dr. Carter was troubled by the timeline. "How long do you estimate this damage has been building?" she asked Lawson. He examined the wire more closely. "Based on the corrosion patterns and burn damage, I'd say 6 to 8 months minimum." 6 months. Maple had only started the warning behavior 3 days ago. Why the sudden urgency? What had changed? Before we continue, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, it really helps the channel grow. That evening, as Lawson worked to replace the damaged wiring, Dr. Carter stayed to observe Maple's behavior. The cat was calm now. The urgent meowing had stopped completely. But something was nagging at Dr. Carter. "Tell me about Maple's history," she asked Sarah. "When did you adopt her? Has anything unusual happened in the house recently?" "We got Maple from the shelter 2 years ago," Sarah explained. "She's always been perfect. Quiet, well-behaved, affectionate." "Any recent work done in the basement? Repairs, inspections?" Sarah thought for a moment. "Actually, yes. About 7 months ago, we had a home security system installed. The technicians spent most of the day down there running cables and connecting to our electrical panel." 7 months. The same time frame Lawson had identified. Dr. Carter felt ice form in her veins. "Do you remember the company name?" she asked carefully. Sarah retrieved the paperwork. "Safeguard Home Systems. Very professional operation." The technician was knowledgeable, had all the right credentials. "How's the system working?" Jake laughed bitterly. "It's never worked. Not once. We've called them dozens of times. They promise to send someone, but nobody ever shows up. A security system that never worked." A technician with access to their electrical panel. Suspicious timing. Dr. Carter's mind raced through the implications, but she kept her suspicions to herself. Dr. Carter knew she was overstepping her bounds as a veterinarian. Whatever was happening here went beyond animal behavior. She needed to focus on what she did know. Maple had detected real danger, and that danger had been eliminated. I should head back to the clinic, she told the Velmers as Lawson finished his work. Maple seems calm now. The immediate threat is gone. But as she packed her equipment, something caught her attention. Maple was exhibiting new behavior, sitting perfectly still by the front door, ears forward, completely focused on something outside. Then Dr. Carter heard it. A car engine, idling just long enough to be noticed, then driving away quickly. Through the window, she glimpsed the tail lights of a dark sedan disappearing around the corner. "Do you get much traffic on this street?" Dr. Carter asked casually. "Almost none," Sarah replied. "It's a dead end. The only people who come through here live in the neighborhood." Dr. Carter felt a chill that had nothing to do with the temperature. That night, she couldn't shake the feeling that the damaged wiring wasn't an accident. The precision of Maple's timing troubled her. Why exactly 3 days? Why not weeks or months ago when the problem first developed? She called her brother David, a criminologist, and described the situation without mentioning her suspicions. "Electrical fires don't usually give warning signs that specific," David said after hearing the details. "Animals detect changes in electromagnetic fields, unusual odors, heat patterns. But the kind of precise timing you're describing, that suggests the hazard changed recently." "Changed how?" "Something made the situation more dangerous. A loose connection tightening. Water getting into damaged insulation. Or what? Or someone tampered with it." Dr. Carter's blood ran cold. "What would you look for?" "Tool marks on wire nuts. Insulation that's been deliberately scored. Burns that don't match normal failure patterns. But I'd need to examine the evidence firsthand." The next morning, Dr. Carter made a decision that went against every instinct telling her to stay in her lane. She called Lawson and asked if he'd kept any of the damaged wiring. "Still got it in my truck," he said. "Why?" "I have a criminologist brother who'd like to take a look." When David examined the wiring that afternoon, his expression grew increasingly grim. "Emily, this was an electrical failure," he said finally. "Someone used a knife to score the insulation in multiple places. The cuts were shallow enough that the wire would work normally for months while the insulation gradually deteriorated from heat cycling." "You're certain?" "The cut marks are unmistakable. This was deliberate sabotage designed to cause a fire 6 to 8 months after installation." Dr. Carter felt sick. Someone had tried to murder the Velmer family. But David wasn't finished. "There's something else," he continued, examining the wire more closely. "See these fresh scratches? This damage is only about 3 days old. Someone came back and made the situation more dangerous." "What do you mean?" "The original sabotage would have caused a fire eventually. But someone accelerated the timeline. They made additional cuts that would have started a fire within days, maybe hours." The pieces fell into place with terrifying clarity. Maple hadn't been warning about old damage getting worse. She had detected that someone had returned to finish the job. 3 nights ago, someone had been in the Velmer's basement. Dr. Carter immediately called Sarah. "I need you to think carefully. 3 nights ago, when Maple first started the warning behavior, did you hear anything unusual? Any sounds in the house? Anything at all?" Sarah was quiet for a long moment. "Actually, yes. Around 2 a.m., I heard what sounded like footsteps in the basement. But Jake said it was probably the water heater cycling on. We've had that problem before. Did you check? No. I went back to sleep. That's when Maple started acting strange. David was already on his phone with the police. Within an hour, Detective Maria Santos arrived to examine the evidence. We'll need to process the entire basement as a crime scene, Santos said after David examined his findings. As Santos began organizing the investigation, Jake happened to look out the front window. "Mom," he called urgently. "There's someone taking pictures of our house." Through the front window, she spotted a man across the street photographing the house with a telephoto lens. "Detective," she called quietly. "There's someone taking pictures of the house." Santos looked out the window and immediately radioed for backup. But by the time officers arrived, the man was gone. "Did you recognize him?" Santos asked Sarah. Sarah's face went pale. "That looked like Richard Hoffman. He's with Cascade Development Corporation. They've been trying to buy our house for 3 years." "How persistent have they been?" "Aggressive," Sarah replied. "They want this corner lot badly. Prime real estate in a gentrifying neighborhood. They've made increasingly higher offers, but we keep refusing." The pieces began falling into place for Detective Santos. The forensic investigation revealed disturbing details. Boot prints in the basement dust that didn't match any family member. Tool marks on the basement window lock. Fresh scratches on the wire that matched a specific type of electrical knife. But the breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Security camera footage from a neighboring business captured a figure entering the Vellner property through the basement window 3 nights earlier. The timestamp matched exactly when Maple had started her warning behavior. The investigation led police to Miles Reed, the fake security technician who had installed the sabotaged wiring months earlier. Phone records showed multiple calls between Reed and Hoffman in the days leading up to the basement break-in. Under interrogation, Reed confessed to the scheme. Hoffman had hired him to create a delayed electrical fire that would look accidental. When the original sabotage didn't cause a fire quickly enough, Hoffman had grown impatient and ordered Reed to accelerate the timeline by making additional cuts to the wiring. The plan was simple: cause a fire that would appear to be an electrical accident, then approach the traumatized family with a generous cash offer for their fire-damaged property. Hoffman had been photographing the house to document its condition before the planned fire, establishing a baseline for insurance and property value claims. The case made headlines not just for the sophisticated arson conspiracy, but for how an observant cat had helped expose it. While some reporters focused on the AI translation technology, the real story was simpler and more powerful. Sometimes animals know when something is wrong, and we should listen. Dr. Carter returned to her normal veterinary practice, but her experience with Maple had changed her perspective on animal behavior. She became an advocate for taking sudden behavioral changes in pets seriously, regardless of the cause. The Vellner family stayed in their renovated home. The basement was completely rewired, new security systems were installed, and Maple returned to her normal, quiet behavior. But the most profound impact was on their understanding of the remarkable creature who shared their home. Jake often reflected on that terrifying week when Maple had tried so desperately to warn them. Not through supernatural intelligence or impossible reasoning, but through the simple, powerful instinct that had protected humans for thousands of years. The bond between humans and animals. "People think cats don't care about their families," Jake told a local news reporter. "But Maple risked everything to save us. She knew someone was in our house who shouldn't be there, and she found a way to tell us." 6 months later, Dr. Carter received a thank you card from the Vellners. Maple is back to her old self, Sarah had written. Quiet, affectionate, and protective. We've learned to pay attention when she tries to tell us something. Last week she wouldn't stop meowing at the front door. We found that a package had been delivered to the wrong address. Nothing dramatic this time, but we're listening. Dr. Carter smiled as she read the note. The most extraordinary aspect of Maple's story wasn't the AI technology or the complex criminal conspiracy. It was the simple truth that animals have been trying to communicate with humans since the beginning of time. Sometimes we just need to be willing to listen. What do you think? Could AI really help us understand our pets, or is this crossing the line between science and instinct? Let us know in the comments. And if you liked the story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.